Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the USC Libraries resources in support of teaching and learning. This presentation is particularly geared towards instructors at USC who want to know more about the resources that are available from the USC Libraries for them. But I think there's also some information here that's valuable for students. So let me start by taking a look at the agenda. So I'll talk a little bit about what is information literacy, because that is a term that, that library folks use, but that folks outside of the libraries may not necessarily be familiar with. But we also refer to it as library instruction. Then I'll talk a little bit more about teaching collaborations and also how instructors can reach out to us to bring us into their classroom, either synchronously, in person, online, or asynchronously. And then I'll go over some asynchronous library resources that we provide for supporting teaching and learning. I'll talk about some individual library services to support your teaching, and then also about ways how to connect with us. And that's good for students as well as instructors. So what is information literacy? There's many definitions of information literacy or library instruction, but what it comes down to is that the students come out of a library session being information literate, knowing when to use information, where to locate information, how to analyze it, and how to also effectively use it in papers, meaning citing and so on. And it's also about critical thinking. It's about the critical interrogation of sources, analyzing the audience, where an author is coming from. Is it something peer-reviewed? Is it more a popular source, etc.? And that kind of stuff gets more and more critical, I believe, the more information is out there on YouTube and other social media sites, etc. So it's really important in my perspective that students have a critical understanding of where the information is coming from. And our work as librarians is guided by some dedicated frameworks. I'm just naming two of the more popular ones, but every area of librarianship also has dedicated frameworks in terms of instruction. But all of us go by the ACRL, Association of College and Research Libraries Framework for Information Literacy. And then there's also the guidelines for primary source literacy developed by the Society of American Archivists and Rare Books and Manuscripts section. And this is when you bring your class to special collections or to archives and students work with primary sources, either digital or physical. So let's talk about teaching collaborations. And I specifically call it not instructional services or teaching services. I call it collaborations because at USC, we strongly believe in working together with the instructors in meeting to form mutual learning outcomes and to really look at what is best for student learning. What is what should students really take out of the session? So we have formed very strong teaching collaborations with instructors all across USC, and we hope that we increase that even more so. So what we do is course integrated instruction. And that can be either be one-off or embedded. One-off meaning we come into your class for before a specific assignment or before the final assignment, or at the beginning of the class to go over library resources, to go over certain information that students need to successfully complete an assignment. But we also have embedded classes where librarians either come in throughout the semester several times, or they oftentimes are also part of the class, which means they're there every session that the class meets. So there is many different versions of course integrated instruction, and it depends on the instructor and the librarian what they agree on and what makes the most sense. And then we also do in-person, online, and asynchronous. Again, I'll be going over asynchronous sources a little bit later on. But again, we go into classrooms and work with the students and the instructors in person, but we also hop on Zoom and Zoom in, or we record a session, or we provide asynchronous materials. And then we also have either classic instruction, and classic meaning traditional lecture, the way most of us teach, But we also have experiential learning opportunities. For example, our special collections department oftentimes works with professors in the history or art history department, where students then throughout the class work on curating an exhibition or something like this. So really hands-on experiential learning opportunities. We're very open. We're always looking for new and fun ways to collaborate on those. So I just want to open this up and say, like, it's not just the librarian going into class, but we're very open for other learning experiences as well. And when we come into those classes, or when we are asked to come before an assignment, we make sure to match information literacy skills to the assignment needs or course learning outcomes, so that the students really, that are catered and become the information that they need to succeed. And our librarians at USC come with subject expertise in your field. We have subject librarians for almost every field taught at USC. So, and many of us have additional graduate or PhD degrees in those subject areas. So, yeah, depending on what is needed or what the class is, we will match you with the best person to teach it. And there are 3 ways to get in touch with us. And I put a QR code here as well and the bit.ly. But yeah, there is a general instruction request form for just any kind of library instruction that you need to fill out. And we ask that these be submitted at least 2 weeks ahead of the session, because we do need time to prep. We are, as everybody, a little bit overworked at times and under-resourced. So we need that 2 weeks to prep. If it's less than 2 weeks, we will at least provide you with asynchronous sources, and then hopefully the next semester we can come together a little bit earlier to plan for your session. If you want to bring your class to special collections, we ask that you submit your form, and this is another form that has a bit.ly here, at least 4 weeks ahead of time, because prepping those physical materials, setting up the classroom takes even more time than a regular session. So we asked for at least 4 weeks. Also, our materials, many of our physical materials are not stored on campus. We have to bring them from offsite, so that takes a little bit of time and prep. And then if you're not sure exactly what you want to do, you're not ready to fill out the form, or you would like to have a chat with a librarian before, feel free to contact us through libraries .usc.edu/subject librarians. Find the person that fits your subject area and reach out to them and say, like, hey, I would love to have a teaching collaboration. I don't know where to start, or can we chat? And I promise you that librarians are very eager to work with you. Talking about asynchronous library resources in support of teaching and learning, we have a number of tutorials that are ready-made that you could either send out to students on your own, or they could be sent out before a librarian comes in to kind of reinforce what students learned in the tutorials. And there are different topics. So it's developing a research topic, finding sources, evaluating sources, citing, plagiarism, avoiding plagiarism. You can even, for several of these tutorials, you can have students receive a certificate of completion at the end. So it could be made a requirement that students go through those, and they get proof by having the certificate. If there's a tutorial that you'd like to see and we don't have yet, reach out to me. I'd be happy to see if we can create one. And then we also have research guides. Oh, I can just briefly maybe switch over. I hope this made the transition to this one. So yeah, so you can see the tutorial side of the USC Libraries. There is lots of them about crafting a research project, about searching and evaluation, the systematic review. So there's also different areas. Then you can also search tutorials by all tutorials. So there's quite a lot of asynchronous material there that I know that it's so hidden on our website that sometimes it's hard to get to those. Another really awesome asynchronous source that I'd like to point out are the research guides. These are research guides created by librarians, and they're also constantly updated. And they are either subject or topic specific. Some of them include, there is like a research guide on citation styles. There's one on generative AI. But we also have class or subject specific research guides. Let me switch over so you can see that we have here on the right side are the popular guides. So you see what students and faculty go to. I hope this make the transition to this page. So organizing your social sciences paper is one of the most popular guides. Or demographics, organizing your social science research assignment, APA style citation, evaluating library information sources, using generative AI has in the past months risen to the more popular guides, and so on. And then we also have specific topical guides, as you can see here. So on different applied psychology, anthropology, cinematic arts. And then you can see that for citation, there's actually 15 guides. For cinematic arts, there's 7 guides. Medicine, there's 19. So there's also, if I open up this here, there's anesthesia and clinical professions. Many of the librarians create also, as you can see here with the medical students, year 1, year 2, create student or class dedicated research guides. And again, if there is a research guide that you'd like to see and that is not here, feel free to reach out to me, and then we can look into creating that guide or making something available. Let me go back to my slides. Oh yeah, again, so this was just in case the website doesn't work. And again, because it's sometimes hidden on the website, I also provided this little path up here. So tutorials are under the library's website under help and then tutorials. And the research guides are under find and then research guides. I still have to I'm sometimes, is it help or is it find? But it's usually under one of those. The other resource that I wanted to point out is my colleague Kevin Klipfel and myself. We're in the USC Libraries Teaching and Learning Department. Kevin is on research leave this fall, but he's coming back next semester. And he's an instructional design librarian. And he is here to help work with designing research assignments and discussing instructional pedagogies and so on. And he's really excellent. He's written several books that are highly popular in the library sector. So I highly recommend, if you're thinking about an assignment and you'd like to include information literacy or even just in general, Kevin is a really great resource for that. And then when it comes to more strategic or program-wide integration of information literacy, it would be great if you would reach out to me. This can include including learning outcomes throughout your program's curriculum. We could do curriculum mapping to see if, if there is a way that we can stagger library instruction a little bit better within your department so that students, as they go through the different semesters, have like a better learning outcome and don't just keep learning the same things over and over in their career here at USC. Or if there's anything else that you can think of that's more of a programmatic collaboration, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, and then I just wanted to point out this, our website. We also have a website in which we talk about the framework, our mission and vision for the USC Libraries Teaching and Learning Department. And you can see that we do a whole lot of, teaching collaborations and areas. So we always love to hear from instructors and we always love to build new partnerships. And then last but not least, how to connect with subject librarians if you don't know how to find subject librarian in your area. There is on the library's website under help, there is ask a librarian or subject librarians, and you can see a list of librarians by subject area. Again, I just opened this, the chat area, let's see, yeah. So you'll see that we are all listed here with our contact information and our dedicated subject areas. So we hope you reach out to us. And then last but not least, available on and by. So if more immediate need, I had an instructor yesterday reach out to me because a tutorial seemingly wasn't working. So if you need like immediately, you can always chat with us or send an email, and then somebody will get back to you fairly quickly. That's it from me. That was a quick overview. I really invite instructors to reach out and to work with librarians. We love working with instructors. We love reaching students across USC. And again, we can also create dedicated teaching materials if they're not existing in our current toolkit. So we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Michaela, thank you so much for that quick but in-depth overview of some of the resources that are probably very often overlooked, if not even perhaps even just unknown to many of our faculty, students, etc. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. Once again, thank you for being a participant in our Academic Integrity Week.